So I had it in my hands and didn't feel anyone hit me.
I just
kind of stumbled a little bit because I was expecting to get hit, and then I just kept going and then scored, and I just spazzed out. I didn't know what to do.
Out of nowhere, just did like a 1-2, and then just jumped up and just yammed it. What in the world did this guy just do? Like out of nowhere, and that was like my first impression of your athletic ability, and I was all like, oh, this guy plays basketball.
I've always wondered like what goes on there, by the way.
Yeah, it's
how is it like from their perspective and what goes on?
It's a cool experience.
Yeah?
One thing it does is.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Y. I'm your host, Hinckley Rapati, and today we got another super special guest, my guy, Talan Alfrey. And so, Talon, appreciate you for making time and for just being here, bro. I know it's in the heat of the season. You know, you got things that you're caught up with, but I appreciate you for taking time to be here with us, brother.
I'm excited to be Thank you guys for having me, and excited to just talk and yeah.
Let's go. Okay, so Tal, I mentioned this to him before we got on here, but what's that called? I felt like I know Talon really well, you know what I mean? And so I feel like this is going to be just a lot of things that I've already heard from Talon, but obviously you guys don't know Talon the way I know him. But when I was doing my research, you know, trying to figure out questions I can ask Tal on this podcast, there's a lot of new things that I learned about him. So I guess I'm just going to, you know, pass the mic to you and let you just kind of tell us a little bit about you. Maybe your upbringing, your background, a little bit off family life, and probably how you got into sports in the first place.
Yeah, that's great. So I was born in Dallas, Texas, but soon after my family moved to Washington. That's where I grew up, from Auburn, Washington. So it's like 30 minutes south of Seattle. Great place, loved it. Everything about Seattle that you hear is true. It rains a lot. It's gloomy, but that's all I knew, and we'd play in the rain, and that's just what we did, and it was awesome. Grew up, I have 3 older sisters, and then I have 2 younger brothers. So there's 6 of us kids total. I'm the 4th. Super fun. All my sisters played sports, you know, soccer, basketball, track, cross country. They were the ones that, I don't know, they just kind of set the standard that we play sports. I mean, my parents obviously were athletic as well. My dad ran track in college at Montana State, and my mom was athletic. She claims the state record in, I think, the 4x1 in Idaho still for her relay team. So she claims the speed.
Also, that is definitely in your guys' family.
Yeah,
heck yeah.
She actually, we joked that she actually played more football than my dad did. So my dad didn't play football growing up. My grandma didn't let him. But my mom played like the powder puff, or like the whatever they're called.
Powder puff league. Yeah.
So she like takes more credit for the football, but it's just fun. It's just joking, but yeah. Then let's see what else. I grew up, started playing kind of everything I could with sports, soccer.
Wait, so your parents didn't? You say your parents didn't play football. I mean, your dad has no experience in football.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in football? I mean, obviously you didn't know the sport, but then how did football end up being the sport for you?
Yeah. So growing up, basketball was actually my first love. Just my best friend Quinn just getting me in basketball. You know, friends all played basketball. Then there was a flag football league, so we started playing flag football together. You know, my best friend's dad was a coach, and so it was really fun. And we had our special plays, and you know, I get the ball a lot, so it was fun. And so I started playing flag football. I don't know, probably 4th, 5th, 6th grade. And then 7th grade was my first year of tackle football in middle school. So 7th, 8th grade was tackle football. Then high school obviously was tackle, and then kind of just went from there. But it was my sophomore year is kind of when I switched from realizing that I couldn't play college basketball, but I could play college football. So
okay, don't say that, because the very first time I think I got like one of those moments where in college football you knew that everyone here was just like a guy where they're from, you know what I mean? And it's just like these guys are crazy athletic. We were playing basketball at, I forgot where we were at. I think we were at it was some private court. It was the lab, right?
Yeah.
And I kid you not, it's this is one of my first, because you were just, I think you were, I don't know if it was right before you got hurt or maybe like right after you were just coming back, but from your injury, and I still remember you out of nowhere just did like a 1-2 and then just jumped up and just yammed it in the lab. And I don't remember if you made the dunk or not, but I just remember you just got up so high. I think you bounced the ball off the rim, and I was just like, what in the world did this guy just do? Like out of nowhere. And that was like my first impression of your athletic ability. And I was all like, oh, this guy plays basketball. Like this guy is crazy athletic. So don't say you couldn't play in college. I think if you would have been able to, I think you for sure would have been able to, bro.
Yeah, what happened was I grew quick. Yeah. So I've been like 6'1",
since like what, fresh grade. Oh my gosh.
And so I was always like the power forward center, and
that's
I never
crazy.
learned how to dribble or shoot. So in high school I couldn't really.
You're just
I wasn't dunking. I was just offensive rebounds. Okay. And putbacks and getting and ones, and that's all I did. But
you also did I saw that you also did like triple jump, like you track and fields, right? Triple jump and stuff like that. Do you feel like that a lot of that contributed to like your ability to be able to be explosive and jump in football? Yeah. I mean,
playing multiple sports in high school was just fun. What we did, I was encouraged by our coaches and my family and parents. But yeah, definitely triple jump, long jump, sprinting in general helped with everything from basketball, football. So
I agree. I feel like growing up, I always tell people, like I think it's the best thing you can do for you as an athlete is just play as many sports as you can. You know what I mean? Yeah. Be a multi-sport athlete. You don't really have to, I guess you can call it like specialize in or choose a sport till maybe even like high school. Even in high school, you can continue to play different sports, right? You know what I mean? And whatever you end up garnering more, I don't know, like attention, you know what I mean? Or whatever it gives you a better opportunity, take that, right? And so, no, I feel like you're a testament on that. Also, another thing that I saw was that you didn't even, you played DB, and I remember you playing safety, but I watched a clip of you on YouTube. You played quarterback in high school. You were like legit the guy. I think your nickname was it the Beard, or what was it? The Beard? You had a lot of nicknames, but when I saw the video of you on YouTube, it was long, luscious hair, bro. Right. You had a beard. Like, when did you grow the beard? Like how old were you when you first got?
Well, like sophomore year was like little, didn't look good, but I wanted it, so I grew it then. But then as senior year came, it was a little nicer. But
yeah, that's crazy. I looked, I was like, this guy looks like a grown man in high school. And then I looked at your film, and I was like, this guy's legit just taking snaps and just taking it to the house every single time. Like, that's pretty crazy. So talk about that, your transition. Like, what made you? Do you like playing quarterback better, or did you like offense better? Because you had some good highlights of you just making dudes miss and obviously scoring touchdowns. Or was some defense something that you always knew that you were gonna do?
Yeah. So in high school I was mainly a wide receiver and then safety. But second year of junior year, quarterback gets hurt, so I'm the next capable guy. So I have to step up and play quarterback, and not a lot of throwing happened. Like you said, I just
you had a couple of touchdowns there.
Yeah, if my first look wasn't there, I would just take off, trust my legs more than my arms.
Exactly.
So, a lot of wildcat, a lot of just running, but it was a lot of fun. And then back to senior year, quarterback was back healthy, luckily, so I was able to play wide receiver and safety. And so when I came to the BYU camp, that would have been after my junior year. Yeah, after my junior year, came to the BYU football camp, and in my mind, I was mainly a wide receiver. Yeah. But at that camp, you do both.
Yeah, you go both sides of the ball. Yeah.
And so I was like, just the mindset of like, I'm here to work and show the coaches what I got. And of actually winning MVP for being a wide receiver, but then they offered me as a safety. So the wide receiver coach at the time wasn't like super excited.
Yeah.
He liked me, but like not like that. But the safety coach, Coach Lamb at the time, really liked me.
Yeah.
I want him then. So, I played safety at the camp too. So obviously they had that film, but then obviously they talked to my coaches and saw the film from there. But kind of a funny story. Just won MVP as a wide receiver, but offered as a safety, and
that's pretty crazy. What the heck?
Like I said, I was kind of just too excited that I got an offer to even worry about what position it was, and
just an opportunity to play ball. And then here at BYU, because growing up you were a BYU fan, I'm assuming, because not obviously but not like crazy, but like you came to the BYU camp, so you were aware of BYU, and you obviously knew about the football program here, things of that sort. And so kind of talk about that decision to come into BYU in the first place. You know what I mean? What about BYU that attracted you to commit here?
Yeah, it's definitely one of my top schools growing up. being from Washington, I also like UW.
Yep,
and, you know,
UW for sure.
at
How
the
can you
time,
not?
I'm a little older, so like Stanford was a cool place.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like thought maybe that would be cool. Not so much now.
I mean,
but,
when Christian McCaffrey was there, I mean, that
Exactly.
was like, dude, I loved watching Stanford.
but like BYU was always up there. Top three. Always wanted to have an opportunity to play here. So when it came, I knew, like they wanted me to commit. I don't know if you had this experience. They wanted me to commit like on the spot. And
That's right. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's what the
That's
coaches
what
like to do.
every program
yeah.
does. As soon as you ball out at their camp, they want you to commit right away so they can
Yeah.
try to get you locked. Yeah, it's
Penciled in and everything. So I was like, I want, like I do, but like let me get home and like pray about it. So I asked my family, make sure it's like something that like feels right. So I got home and prayed about it. Pondered on it, talked to my parents, and ended up just verbally calling the coaches the next week and verbally committing. And then I signed the early signing period later that winter. But the
this
thing
is your
about
junior year, right?
yeah, or that's
Going into
my
senior year. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so senior year, I knew that I was gonna be playing at BYU, so which was fun. But yeah, I think what BYU has to offer is unique. I wanted to be able to thrive not only on the football field but academically and spiritually, and this is by far the best place to do that. I knew, for a future spouse, I knew for future careers, education, it was going to be my best bet. On my visit, which was after I committed and everything, but on my visit, they talked a lot about the networking opportunities and just kind of the BYU alumni across the world and country.
Yeah.
And it's definitely been true now that I've been here and for 5 years now.
Yeah.
And
I agree,
the
bro.
connections are insane, and it's set me up for life. And the network I've been able to build and grow, and is going to serve me like none other. So I'm super grateful for BYU and that. And it's not like, yeah, it's even just being in Utah County too. It's not even just BYU, but yeah, there's lots of.
It was crazy. You don't realize the outreach or like the influence that BYU alumni have on like the economy on the world. Like really, like it's crazy. You know what I mean? Until you get here, right? And I'm pretty sure every university that's kind of their picture. But I feel like here at BYU, it's like you feel it and you see it every day. You know what I mean? I mean, we rub shoulders with these guys. And we have opportunities to actually speak with these dudes and have one-on-one with these people. And so, and you also touched about like the spirit and the spiritual side of it, right? Obviously, coming to BYU, you wanted to not just grow as a player, but grow as a son of God and your faith and things of that sort. And you served the mission, and so you served in Uruguay, right? So after high school, you committed to BYU, and then you served the mission, right, in Uruguay, but then that was during COVID, so you ended up getting reassigned to Fresno. That's right, okay, in California. So how long were you in Uruguay, and how was your experience there?
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved Uruguay. Luckily, I was able to get like 15, 16 months out there. So a good amount of time. Yeah. Majority of my mission was down there.
That's good.
Amazing.
Spanish speaking, right?
Spanish speaking.
Okay. You still got it or what?
It takes me a few minutes to get in the right mindset. A little rusty, but I can, it gets coming once it gets rolling. But yeah, then like you said, COVID hit. What was that, March of 2020? We were all home and kind of decided, I served 16 months. Like all my friends who served 18 were already done. Or something like that. Like I was like, I'm that close. I could just go start playing football, or I could go get reassigned, and that was a cool experience just in and of itself of that process with God and leaders and coaches too. Ended up going back out to Fresno, or got reassigned to Fresno, and was there for 7 months. So from May to December of 2020.
Talk a little bit about that because. You talked about coming home because usually a lot of the guys that come home from you've been honorably released. I mean, if you finished in the COVID thing, you know what I mean. And so the fact that you decided 16, said 8 months, you know what I mean. I mean, 8 months is 8 months. Like what was the process like for you? I mean, maybe obviously talking to your family and the coaches. What was the process for you making the decision to go back out on a mission and finishing the 24?
Yeah, this might be a very specific video, but I don't know if you remember it's from the video from the church, Jesus Christ. It's the Wrong Roads video. I think it's Elder Holland.
Oh, yes. I know exactly. Yeah.
Or I think it was him and his dad.
Was it the one that talking about when you're driving from St. George? Or is it that one?
There's a road. They pray.
Yeah.
And they feel like they need to go down this road. They go with the dead end.
Yeah. Yes, right.
And he asks, the son asks, Dad, why did we feel like we should go down that road when it wasn't the right road? And it's like, well, now we know for certain, have the confidence that this is the right road. And that's honestly what happened to me. Like, I thought maybe shoot, like, go play football. Like, I was praying. That's what I felt like I wanted to do, and whether that was me or God guiding me, like, I mean, either way, it worked out for good. And I think God definitely. I'd like to give credit where credit should be due, and
For sure.
God gets that, so I give Him the credit. But so I started going down that path, and then learned that because of the complications of COVID and everything, like, there wasn't a scholarship for me that fall. And so I was like, so Coach Hadley at the time was the safety coach, and he recommended, like, wait till January to show up on the team. And so I was like, oh, that's great.
You might as well,
Now I know
yeah.
for sure I can go back on my mission.
Exactly.
Go get reassigned and go out. And it ended up working out because my wife was serving in Fresno, and ended up meeting her there. And
That's actually pretty cool.
so, yeah.
So you met her at the Fresno. Obviously, you were focused, consecrated mission.
We
So
didn't serve around each other.
nothing. Yeah. But then when you got talk about that, how did you approach? Obviously dating and coming back home, and
Yeah. So, like, we never served around each other. People always joke, "Oh, you're flirting on the mission." It's like, no, like, we never, like,
Yeah.
we, like, said hi to each other, introduced ourselves to each other a couple times. Ended up being in the mission home, coming home at the same time. So talked a little more then.
Oh,
Figured out,
nice.
like, I still didn't talk much.
Yeah.
And then we get home in December of 2020, and 2 weeks later we come to BYU. And then a month later I realized that she's at BYU just through Instagram and stuff.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And so I DM her. And
You DM'd her,
we started
yes,
going
sir.
out, and everything worked out. But
Heck
so
yeah.
yeah, that's the story. But so yeah, super grateful for that, and it's been fun. So
Obviously, you've been here at BYU since 2021, right? And so we've been teammates for a while. But there's been also things that you've I feel like I've watched you just come in as like a freshman, and all the way to who you are now. Obviously captain the team, and the things that you've already accomplished so far. What are some of the, I guess, like the highlights of your time here, and things that you feel like you forever cherish?
Yeah. Just talking with, like, former teammates who were older than me, and, like, are done now playing, and they've always talked about how it's the brotherhood and, like, just hanging out with the boys they miss the most. And so this last year or so, like, having that awareness of that's what I'm going to miss, it's been fun to kind of cherish those moments more. And that's definitely, like, been the highlight is, just hanging out with my friends. What a life to hang out with friends and play football, right? So it's, and it's been amazing. And I think obviously Saturday nights in Lavelle are awesome.
Yeah.
Going to miss those. Like, those are some of my biggest highlights. Lots of fun plays and games and memories.
Oh, for sure.
But definitely just, the brotherhood.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about life, like, there's not, unless you, like, fabricate it yourself, or, like, construct it yourself, there's not really a lot of opportunities just to hang out with the boys and just, I don't know.
I feel like, I think you hit it right on the nail. I feel like the biggest thing is, even in my time, and even now in this time of uncertainty, where, like, whether I'm on the fence of playing or not this year, is really, like, the biggest thing I've realized is I miss that locker room. You know what I mean? You miss the relationships and the boys that you grind, day in and day out throughout the year, for one purpose. And I feel like you said, I've talked to, other guys who've played, older people that we played with in our first couple seasons here. And they always said the same thing. It's the locker and the locker room and the relationships. But what's amazing is that, like, how those relationships, last way after, your time here, and how that's becomes a huge part of your network as well. You know what I mean? And things that you connect with afterwards. And so, no, I totally see it. I mean, you talked about making plays in Lavelle Stadium and things of that sort, and you've definitely had your fair share of that. Not a lot of defensive players can experience scoring a touchdown. I mean, yeah, they can get a pick and pick six, but that's also still a rarity. You know what I mean? It's like not everyone gets to experience that. And so, but you scored a touchdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, you had your picks and things of that sort, but you scored a touchdown on special teams, and it was off of the Houston game last year. And I'm sure you know that. I mean, but that's honestly one of my favorite plays for a lot of reasons. But kind of talk about, what went through that entire time, during the time, what happened before then, previous games, obviously, and then kind of leading up to that, you know what I mean, into that moment.
Yeah, so last year took on more of a special teams emphasis focus on myself. And what happened the previous week at Arizona State, the kicker just hit a lot like laser right at me and bounced off my leg. I thought it was going to be what Houston kick did, the middle dribble, ended up just being the straight laser. So I stepped into it, bounced off my leg, couldn't get on it. Obviously very unfortunate. Ended up losing the game, and it was close. And so felt a lot of weight and just kind of, just feeling weight about that. And
which is for sure not your fault, obviously. But I as a player, you know how it is. You know how it is. Like, dude, like we're down 14-0 that time, and that drive they scored. You know what I mean? Right. And like that was just constantly. Yeah, I for sure see how that works.
So that was tough. Obviously having that in my mind and like I wasn't thinking to like make it up. But in the Houston game, actually shout out to Isaiah Banya for getting the penalty. They end up kicking from the 50-yard line.
And then they usually have the tendency to.
Exactly. Most teams usually try to do something because the field position's already decent enough. So Coach Pop, K-Pop, prepped us, told us, hey, alert the onside kick here. So we were ready for it and like knew it was coming. It was me and Ethan Slade, one of my best buddies, just in the front, right between us. And fortunately, it bounced a little closer to me, and I got a good bounce right up to my hands. And then, they teach us to kind of fall down and then everyone protect you, right? Like we secured the ball, right? Like cover up. But once I had it in my hands and didn't feel anyone hit me, I just kind of stumbled a little bit because I was expecting to get hit, and then I just kept going and then scored, and I just spazzed out. I didn't know what to do, and it was crazy. Though.
I think that was one of my favorite like highlights from last year, and I remember because I think that was senior night.
Yeah,
that was senior night, right? And I remember I was hurt. I was still coming back from an injury that game, but I remember just like seeing you score and how happy I was for you because of obviously remembering the game before, you know what I mean? And I knew like every player knows like nobody blamed you for whatever happened, but as a player, like, personally, you take that as like, dude, like, you know what I mean? I need to get my give back, or I need to, but obviously hearing that you weren't really thinking about it, it was just a matter of you just going out there and just doing your job, it wasn't like something you were, and it's amazing what happens, people always talk about the great plays happens when you just, stick to the fundamentals and you just stick to doing your job, right? You do your 111 and the big plays come, you don't go looking to make big plays, and that's usually how it always happens. And when I saw you just break off, it was crazy because I saw you picked it up, or it came to you, and I was like, oh, nice, he got it. And then they say you kept going. I'm like, oh, he's about to score. And just seeing your excitement and the way you celebrated, man. Just talk about that emotion, bro. Was it just like...
Yeah, but I hadn't planned a celebration. I had it done like
you weren't expected to be an end zone.
Yeah, exactly. So I just kind of spazzed out. You can see my head shaking in the film, and like I go up I thought about jumping in the stands, but figured that'd be a penalty, so I didn't jump into the stands. Like a Lambo.
I saw you went up to you dabbed some of the
high-fiving the fans, and they're all hitting me on the head. And then obviously we always talk about celebrating with teammates, and then the whole kickoff return unit was just there with me in the back of the end zone, which was awesome. And then get to the sideline, and you got like
the boys going crazy,
shoulder bumping me, man. Everybody high five and the pat.
Everyone's going crazy, man. Insane, I loved it, bro. And I just feel like what I loved about that play, not just the play itself, but really like what it symbolizes. I feel like it kind of like it's in a way symbolizes your career, you know what I mean, and things that you've been through, you know what I mean, like some trials and then overcoming that and coming back better. And you've dealt with your fair share of trials and injuries since your time here. I remember your first year here, you had the Achilles injury, and I remember for a while seeing you on crutches, you know what I mean? And then, obviously I was working through injuries at that time, and we've been able to, bond and spend a lot of time over our injuries, and people would understand how, mentally, what's that called? How like much of a mental battle that really is more than it is physical. But I guess like just for you, like how has, your experiences with injuries and the trials that you faced here at BYU, how was it during the experience, and how it helped you get to where you are now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, so you mentioned my Achilles my first year.
You collarbone also as well, right?
My sophomore year. And both just very unfortunate timing. My Achilles was a week or 2 weeks before fall camp, and my collarbone was a week before the first game. So just like, and there's a lot of, like you said, the mental side of it. There's a lot of like what ifs and what could have beens and all that, and it's really hard not to play that game because it doesn't help. But I had a great spring ball my freshman year, and like Coach Lamb already liked me, and was probably going to play a little bit that year, and then to get that
No,
all
I
taken
remember.
away
Yeah.
was tough. Collarbone was, our Micah Harper had just torn his ACL, and so I was slated to be the starting strong safety, and that was our first year in the Big 12, and
Yep.
a lot of excitement, and then that gets taken away from me. So that's been tough, like mentally. And then the hardest thing about injuries is just the time it takes and the mental toll and the challenge it is to stay consistent and disciplined and rehab and doing everything you need to. And Achilles is a long one. It took me over a year to feel.
Yeah, it's like 9 months to 12 to really just even get back out there, right?
Yeah, it's impressive to see some of the NFL guys do it quicker than that. It's like, for me, it was brutal, and I had a lot of great resources, great help, for both injuries, and I kind of just had the shotgun approach of, we're going to do every rehab modality possible, and I don't know what's helping or if anything's helping, but hopefully one thing is, and it's going to make the difference and get me back sooner than expected. That's kind of the approach you have to take with injuries. Is every guru, every trainer, every doctor has their opinion of what works and what doesn't, and honestly, everybody's different and responds differently, so you have to kind of find what works for you. But if you don't know, you just got to do everything.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing light bed, you're doing laser,
Everything.
You're doing the beamer table, you're doing some random, modality
movement. Yeah, for sure.
Whatever is recommended. Like, I'll try taking whatever supplements.
Dude, get
faster bone growth. Like, does it work? I don't know. Like, drinking more milk. I don't know. It works.
At that point, when you're at, it feels like you're at your. At least for me, I feel like I was at one of my lowest points. You know what I mean? Because the thing that you love doing the most, one of the things you love doing the most, playing football, is now taken away, and you feel like, oh man, what now? And you just feel like, I feel like during that time I battle with man, this is kind of who I am. You know what I mean? But for me, I've kind of turned into gratitude for those injuries and what they've actually done for me. And kind of took me. I brought the perspective that I'm more than just a football player. You know what I mean? Helped me also work this. So were there things that you worked on outside of just football? You know what I mean? And then also talk about who was your support group, or support system during that time.
Yeah. So there's lots of lessons to be learned. And, during my freshman year, the Achilles one, I just had a ton of time to. Coach Lamb he's like, hey, I know it's tough to be around the team when you're injured and you can't do anything, and especially yours where you're not coming back this year. He's like, so come around as much as you like. We want you here, but take time to study and compete in the classroom and do all that. And I had
that you did. I mean, you ended up. I mean, you're all 12. It was you're all conference and academics as well. And so, and so, this guy doesn't just do it on the field. He takes care of business in the classroom. So
so I had a lot of time to study, and at that time I was pre-dental, so I was taking all these chemistry classes, anatomy classes. So the extra time was nice. I think it was actually Chad Lewis shared the story about Taysom Hill when he had his injuries, switched his mindset to compete in the classroom, and that helped a lot. Just all right, well, shoot, I can't compete on the field or in the weight room even. I'll just, in the 300 student class, I'm going to beat all these guys. And I wasn't that good, but I tried, which helped me get good grades. And I already graduated, which is nice. So I graduated with an exercise science degree. And then during my collarbone, kind of the thing that I was fortunate to do, Coach Hill let me sit in the box during the home games.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
I was actually up in the booth with Gavin Fowler and the other coaches at the time that were in the booth.
I've always wondered what goes on there. By the way,
it's
how is it from their perspective and what goes on there in the game? Yeah,
one thing it does, it slows the game down.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
so that helps. That's helped me a ton coming back from that last year and this year. Just kind of letting things just kind of. It's a slower.
And seeing the game from their perspective, what they're calling, depending on what they see.
Exactly, and why they're doing. So for defense, for example, they have someone up there, either with binoculars, just looking at the opponent's huddle, what personnel they're going to be in, and then that's relayed to Coach Hill, right? Defense coordinator call, and then obviously down distance, what personnel, where they're out in the field, time of the game, all that is what Coach Hill kind of factors into his play call, right?
Oh, dang, that's
And
pretty
so
cool.
there's that aspect of it, and then obviously the coaches up top can have a different perspective to relay. No, it was this person's fault that missed their gap, because you can't always see it from the sideline, like who wasn't in their gap or whatever. So easier to fix things and get things corrected instead of waiting till halftime or whatever to do it. Yeah. Offensive wise, it was actually really cool to kind of see, because when the offense has the ball, like defense booth is quiet, right? We're letting them work because there's not like a huge divide, like not like a solid wall.
They're both all in one room.
Yeah. And so like listening to Coach A-Rod like call the plays and like them talk about what they like and what they're in, and then they obviously are super smart. So they're like, hey, he's got to throw this one. He's got to throw this one. Like he's got to hit Chase on this one. And then like he'll hit Chase and they're like get excited.
That's crazy.
And then we all celebrate together.
Yeah.
And so it's actually really fun. And then there's snacks and drinks and there's the president's suite with the condoms at halftime.
Oh wow.
And so it was a cool experience though. It was kind of see the behind the scenes and what coaches are doing up there. It's cool.
That's awesome. Does that give you any like fuel to, I don't know, maybe get into coaching or to see that side of it? Or I guess the next question is like, where do you see Talan Alfrey after your football career? Obviously, you do your time in the league, whatever it is that you want to do. Or what do you see Talan Alfrey for, like, I guess 10 years from now?
Yeah, I like to kind of think of myself as like an opportunist.
Yeah,
I'd say I have that like the entrepreneurial spirit, but I also like the security of a job.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a hard mix, But luckily with connections and stuff, probably post this season, going to go work for PAX. Oh, nice. Got an interview with them coming up, and so some other companies out there that I'm interested in interviewing with, and which they do skilled nursing facilities, right? So go run a facility, which kind of gives you that entrepreneurial.
That's so cool.
You call the shots.
Yeah.
The security of them backing you up and helping you and training you and all that. 10 years from now, I don't know. I don't know. I like I said, I like to be called opportunist, and so whatever happens. If I'm still with them, awesome. There's lots of things that me and my wife want to do. Career wise, goal wise, family wise. We have no idea where we're going to be living. We're just kind of taking it a little at a time, and but yeah, coaching is definitely something that would be fun. Like because you get that same brotherhood back with
you do with the coaching staff. But you still get to be part of the team a little bit. Yeah.
And traveling's fun too. Like you go travel and see new places.
But I feel like the time commitment too is also, you've got a constant. If anything, it's probably a lot more. I think I've talked to I talked to some of the GAs and some of the the assistant coaches, and it's like the hours they put in. To making game plans. Like I remember, I think we come home from games, and I remember some of the GAs. They're like talking. I hear the conversation. They're heading to the facilities to break up the film and to like get everything ready for next week. And it's like they're there for like at least I think like another plus 5 to 6 4 hours on top of what we're there for, and we're there for a while. You know what I mean?
I'm here right now, and the coaches are meeting right now.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
We have a game plan for practice today. Like it's just it's insane, the time commitment. So I don't know. I like the idea of coaching. I don't think it'd be my first career stop, but maybe later down the road, or maybe some other role with the team. I think there's positions, on staff that I think are exciting. But we
talked about this with other players that have been on here, with the coaches and things of that sort. But one thing that I like to ask people is like, kind of just give, Cougar Nation people, viewers watching, just a little insight of Coach Kalani. You know what I mean? And who he is as a person, and everybody, when we see this guy, and he presented this way, but he really is that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. People understand he is very much authentic, very much a man of God, a God-fearing man, and he leads the team that way. Kind of talk about your experiences with Kalani and your relationship with him.
Yeah, Kalani's great. One of the best coaches in the game right now, and it's been a blessing that he's been here my whole time. And like he said, you always talk to Cougar Nation, and they love him, right? They don't even understand. He's even better, like getting to spend time every day with him.
Having a personal relationship with him.
It's like he's better than you even think, and it's crazy to just see the way he has stuck to what he feels is right for the culture of BYU and what he's taken from Lavelle. And he, he's honest about like, he goes, I'm not reinventing the wheel. Like Lavelle, like this is like, it's the same culture. It's like it works, and love and learn, and it's not soft and, gushy. It's hardcore, and it's been fun to see and hear kind of his stories. And he had that great BYU speech devotional
Is he
last year,
just recently?
Earlier this year, and shared his stories and stuff. And we've heard most of those,
All of them, yeah.
And so but now everyone else kind of has that perspective. It's like he really is what he preaches, and what you see on the media is he's just as good. I like the way he, luckily at BYU, and he can bring in Jesus Christ in conversations and team meetings and everything.
Which is unique to BYU, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, with the church influence and things of that sort, being able to incorporate the gospel in everything we do, you know what I mean? Starting meetings with prayers, but then even like in his like, what's that called? His speeches to us, or like his, little small talks he talks with on team meetings. It's like, it's always something that's, incorporated with the gospel. He always somehow ties it back to Jesus Christ and him being our savior, and things that we need to do in our life as men, you know what I mean? As husbands, boyfriends, whatever it is. But I feel like he's always, trying to give advice towards, in those areas of our lives. And so,
the things he teaches aren't just for football. They're for our lives, and, how we should conduct ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. One of the best lessons is the toughest person that ever walked the earth is Jesus Christ. And so if you want to be tough, act like him. Yeah. And so, there's lots of lessons I could go on about, but that's probably my favorite one is if you want to be tough and want to, like, Jesus Christ is best.
He's the man, bro. Like, you look unto him and everything that we, you want to do and be like. And so, no, I love that. We're going to take a quick step back from our conversation. We'll come back to it. We're going to do a quick little game because, like I mentioned before, we have been teammates for a while, right? And so let's see how good our chemistry is, right?
Shoot.
Okay. So there's this game that I've seen, and it's pretty fun. It's basically I think it's like you say a word. I don't know what it's called, but you say a word. We say a word at the same time. Okay. So I count down 1, 2, 3. When you say a word. Okay. And then we have to try to basically eventually get to the same word. All right. Okay. And so let's see how good teammates we are. Okay. Let's see the chemistry here. All right. I got a word. Okay,
I got one.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Football.
Water. Jay. All right. Let me know if you got it.
Okay.
Football, water. Football, water.
Okay. I think.
Come on, Tal. I need you here, bro.
I got 2 right now. I'm thinking of.
Okay, I need you right here.
One. I got
okay,
one. Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Trainer.
Oh my goodness! That wasn't planned.
Let's go.
That wasn't planned, right? That was twice.
I was thinking Gatorade or Powerade.
No, I'm so glad.
I was like, no, who gives us the water? Trainers, dude. That was sick.
No, I'm getting goosebumps. That was pretty crazy. On the second try.
Hey, let's go.
Hey, we didn't rehearse.
No,
we didn't talk about it before. That was actually okay. We can do one more. Okay, let's go one more time. Okay. All right. Let me think. All right, I got one. Ready?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Grass.
Light. Okay. Light. Grass. Grass. Light.
Okay.
Come on. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. Okay. All right, dude. Photosynthesis. Yeah, that one makes sense. Okay.
So photosynthesis in Lavelle.
Lavelle. Photosynthesis. Oh my gosh. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Teamwork.
Grow. Okay. You said grow. I said grow. You said teamwork. Teamwork. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got one?
Yep.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Practice. Oh my gosh. Let's freaking go. Oh my goodness. I don't know how I kicked to that one because it was between practice and workouts.
I was gonna say improvement.
Okay.
I switched to practice.
Yeah, you guys hear it first here, but we're pretty. Our chemistry is pretty crazy, man. That's something to brag about. I'm sorry, bro. I was just talking to my wife before I came when you was like, I know Talon so well. I think this would be a fun game to play with them because I just feel like it'll click, and I'm glad I proved myself right, bro.
Yeah.
Talon, before we sign off, bro. I guess what we like to ask everyone that comes on here is basically share a piece of advice anything, that's helped you in your life, something, or maybe like share a life mantra that you live by. Really anything that you want to share with our viewers, because we have a lot of younger kids, youth, people who want to be in our position or want to be able to, everybody wants to be successful, and so I guess just share something that has helped you, or contribute to your success so far in life.
Yeah, one thing my mom always kind of told us when she dropped us off at practice or games, or whatever, is work hard, you'll never regret it. So I think, simple phrase, but I think it goes a long way. And I think in the culture nowadays, it's kind of, you can be viewed as too cool if you try hard, or you get called a try hard, right?
Usually.
I think that's just not serving the youth the way, they think it is, because they're just trying to be cool. But you're cool when you win and you dominate. And so the only way to get to that point is by practicing and working hard. And so that's what I just, especially for the youth, is always work hard. You'll never regret it, and good things will happen, whatever it is, like, whether it's football, basketball, whether it's robotics or chemistry, like math team, whatever you decide to kind of pursue, is just work hard at it. And I don't care what other people think either. Just work hard and you'll be successful, and you'll have a lot of fun.
I love it. We don't even got to say anything after that, bro. Let's end off on that. Again, Talon, appreciate you again for coming on and for, dropping gems and just sharing your life experiences for the benefit of others, man. One of my favorite things that in one of our conversations we talked about, and honestly, I also saw it on your Instagram and it reminded me of this that you shared before. I don't know if you shared it in like a team setting or somehow, but you talked about your favorite parable. You know what I mean? And that being with the talons.
Yeah.
I guess I can let you talk, but it's one of my favorite things. I feel like it emulates a lot of what you do. You know what I mean? And really encompasses what you just shared as your favorite advice.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to kind of live by, as well as multiply talents. Kind of the backstory you're kind of alluding to is I was handed jersey number 25 when I got to BYU, and I wore number 3 in high school, not for any particular reason, just a cool number that all the cool kids wore growing up. I don't know, I just did. So I got here and I was like, all right, I'm 25. Like, my family's probably going to buy jerseys, and I don't want them not to buy multiple over the years. And I was like thinking, how can I make this my own? And one day I was reading the Bible in Matthew 25.
Yeah.
25, like, I don't know the exact verses, but like verse 21, it's like when it's the parable of talents, and you take what you're given and you multiply it, you make it your own, and then you return that back to God. And that's what I've always tried to do in my time here at BYU is, God's given me, great ability and great, a healthy body healthy body, healthy mind, great work ethic, and to take that and multiply it and then return that to Him, which I feel like has been, easier at BYU. It's kind of, you can be more vocal about you can be vocal anywhere, I guess, but it's kind of just part of us, It's what we are, who we are, and the world knows that, and that's what we're trying to do, is put the world on notice that BYU's different, and it's a good different, and people should follow, and should be more like the BYU Cougars, because we involve Christ, and that's the most important. And so yeah, it's number 25. I've kept it my whole career, and it's been a reminder to me to just multiply the talents that God's given me. And that's not only football, but it's also just
in life in general, every aspect.
Mind,
yeah.
So I'm gonna use that mind to, and multiply. And
I love it.
Whatever it is. But, multiply whatever God's given you. And
dude, I love that story, man. I love everything about you, Tal. You already know that, man. We've talked plenty of times, bro. I'm so grateful for the relationships that we have, and for just the light that you bring, not just in my life, but what I've seen you done for other people on our team, brother. And so I appreciate you again for being on here. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Inside the Why with my guy, Talan Alfrey. Please check us out on whatever it is you get your podcast at, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, or Apple. See y'all next time.